Hope everyone's good. Hope everyone's well. Okay, so today I am joined by an MS warrior called Mo Christensen, who went from having multiple sclerosis. She mostly still has it, but I'm going to get into that in a second. To oh, she's here now. Welcome, Mo. I was just telling everybody about you. One second, Mo. I'll try to bring you in. So just, I know you tried to call me. Instagram playing up, does it all the time. So once again, got Mo Christensen coming in, who's an MS warrior, who's been through MS. I'm going to find out now if she still has it. And what MS is an attack on the nerve system. So the nerves, Mo, I'm just trying to bring you in, does this all the time. Right, let me cancel your request and send you an invite. Cancel that and send you an invite. So now, Mo, if you press accept, hopefully you should pop up on my screen. Hopefully. There you go. Hi, Mo.
Hi.
How are you? Okay.
Nice to meet
Okay.
you.
I was just telling people. So MS is it a disease you call it?
Yeah, it's an autoimmune disease.
It attacks the nerve system. So it's the protection barrier around the nerve system. Is it called the myelin or something or myelin?
Yeah, the myelin. So MS,
Mhm.
it's pretty much your myelin and your nerves are like an electric cable.
Yeah.
And so your immune system attacks the coating on the outside of the cable.
That's what protects you, protects your nerves.
And it makes the signals pass quicker.
Okay.
So when they're attacked, it makes holes and it causes the signal to short out. So it's a little bit like an electric cord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does that just weakens the whole immune system?
So my immune system is overactive. That's the issue.
Overactive.
Yeah, it's overactive and it is attacking something that it shouldn't. So the medication that I'm on modifies my immune system so that it can't go into my brain and spine, my immune system.
Okay. So what were you like before you had MS? Obviously,
So,
you just normal.
yeah, before I had MS, I was at university, so I was a normal university student. I was taking classes, I was dating someone. Everything was great. I loved working out. And then one day everything changed.
And when were you first diagnosed with it?
2015.
And prior to that, what type of symptoms did you have?
So what happened was, so 2 weeks before I was diagnosed, half of my body went numb and tingly.
Really?
And I thought it was weird, but I didn't think much of it until it didn't go.
Okay. What were you studying? Were you at university, college?
Yeah, I was studying exercise and wellness.
Okay. So your body went tingly
Uh-huh.
and numb.
And it just didn't go away. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor had me get an MRI, which was an experience if you've never had one.
Now I've had it a few times. It's when you're in that little tunnel kind of thing, and all you hear is banging and drilling and.
It's bizarre, and you can't move.
Yeah.
At least you're not
You can't
supposed to.
see. Your nose is itching. You can't itch it, so you have to press a little hoot with the buzzer thing. They
Uh-huh.
let you out, and then you itch your nose, and you cough. Then you go back inside.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
Yeah.
crazy thing.
So you had the MRI.
Yes, so I had the MRI, and just a few days later, she called me, the doctor, and she said, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is that we know what's wrong. The bad news is that you have 20 plus lesions in your brain and you have multiple sclerosis.
So it was lesions.
So lesions are scars
Oh, okay.
on your myelin sheath. So it's,
Hence the name multiple
yeah, so it's multiple sclerosis, so multiple
scars.
scars.
Yeah. Okay. Now let me tell you what about me. The reason I've had MRIs a few times is because I was told I had a thing called perivascular circles, which is
Oh,
kind of like a bump, a bubble. So I say a bubble in my brain there on my left hand side, which caused me to limp. And so when I used to do security at nightclubs and bars, and I used to limp a lot. And when I used to stand like this all the time. My arm used to be like this all the time, like curved in. So people used to assume I've had a stroke, and I used to say, no, I'm sure I know if I've had a stroke, right? And then so they so I had an MRI, one of many, and so they took out some fluid from my brain from there. I've still got a scar there actually, it's a massive scar. So they drained it out, and then they said, and I reckon that made about 10% difference. Didn't really make no difference
mm,
because I thought obviously you wake up in the hospital, you've had your procedure, and I just thought, wow, I'm not going to limp no more. Not that I limp, not that it was very noticeable. It was really minor limp, and then that happened, and then physiotherapy didn't really help much.
mm.
But then then what did I do? Oh, then a few years ago back, I had a sciatica. That really like kind of like sciatica pain's absolutely horrible because it's the
Yeah.
complete one side. It's a shooting pain, right? And then from that, I had when I had sciatica, I had a birthday party, my friend's birthday party. So I said to my family, I'm going to my friend's party. Then that was for a weekend away. I came back on the Sunday and I thought I need to go to hospital. Then I went to the hospital. Then they put me in the MRI and the X-ray. X-ray first and then MRI. They said, look, we need to take you to a spinal specialist hospital, which is about 30 miles away,
Mm.
which is in a town called Oxford, just outside of London. And then they turned around and said, okay, you got a bulge in your disc, in your lower disc.
Oh,
And you know
no.
your back middle disc, you got your L disc. So they said I had a bulge in there. And then since then, so the bulge is gone now, the pain's gone now, but I still got the limp. So
Mm.
it's one of those things, what can you do? But okay, so going back to you, then, but then what happened from there? So the doctor gave you the good news and the bad news.
Yes. And so right at that moment, I didn't realize how much my life was going to change.
Did you know what MS was? Or did you have to
Um,
like start reading it out, looking it out?
I had learned about it in one of my classes, so I
Okay.
knew what it was basically, but I didn't know really
Mm-hmm.
what it was like in someone's life. And the doctor told me not to look it up.
Oh, fair enough.
So I didn't.
So you're gonna scare you, isn't it?
But my mom is a nurse, and she has worked with people with MS a lot.
Mm-hmm. Of
And so when I told her, she was devastated because it was like my life flashing before her eyes.
course, yeah.
Everything that she thought would be, she basically accepted that it was not going to be that way anymore.
So apart from this numbness and this tightness, and what was the other thing?
Tingling.
Tingling. Did you notice anything else like prior to this?
Um, so when I was 16, my leg went numb and tingly for 36 hours,
Really?
and then it just went away. And so we didn't think anything of it. I also had really bad fatigue and depression, which are all symptoms of MS,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not things that stood out to us as warning signs.
Okay. And obviously that must have when you didn't read it up, but then obviously gradually you start to know what it was
Yeah.
yourself. That must have just emotionally drained you itself, knowing that you've got condition for life.
Yeah. So it's funny because there are things about having a disease for life that are bad and that are okay. And accepting that it's actually here forever is very, very difficult. And it's like the kind of thing that one day I might accept it and the next day I'm not.
So do you still actually have it?
Yes, I do.
And can it come back?
So it's a chronic progressive disease. So I will always have it. Um,
Okay.
and it will most likely get worse throughout my life.
Really?
Yeah.
See, when I first went to a neurologist, I'm talking about years ago, when I said I've got this limp, I said I've got this, my arms always kind of like folded in. They told me, and then they told my family. My family would as well. They go, I'm not going to live till 40. I'm 47 now, so every day's a blessing for me.
There you go.
There you go. So okay, now
That's
how
so
difficult
true.
how difficult was it to get diagnosed?
Um, so for me, it was fairly simple. It's usually quite difficult for people. Um, but for me, since I had 20 scars in my brain and I
Yeah.
was having such um, clear symptoms,
What's the
they knew.
usual amount of scars that somebody has?
Sorry, what?
How many scars do normal people have, or they don't?
I don't know. So I think that a normal person can have these scars in their brain, but they usually don't have very many. And so it's usually a lot less than 20.
Hmm. Okay. Go on. So sorry, you were saying I interrupted you.
Um, Remind me what the question was.
The diagnosis part.
Oh, okay. So a lot of the time when they're diagnosing MS, they will do an MRI and then a spinal tap just to check the cerebral fluid to see the level of immune bodies that are in the
Hmm.
blood. But since I had so many lesions or scars in my brain, they didn't have to do a spinal tap. And then I went downhill fairly quickly. So within 6 months, if I was going to list off all the symptoms I was experiencing, that would take a while. But basically, within 6 months, I was walking with two canes. I had the mentality of a special needs girl. I had double vision, so I wore an eye patch that I switched back and
I
forth.
was just about to say that's one of the symptoms, isn't it? You lose eye, but is it you lose eye in one eye or both? You lose sight. Sorry.
Um, so I didn't lose my vision, I got double vision.
Oh, okay.
And so the only way I could see clearly was if I used
Squid.
an eye
Yeah.
patch. So I
And was
didn't
this on
have
both eyes or just one?
so just my eyes were not tracking things together. So
Okay.
like one eye would move, but this one wouldn't move with it. So I think it probably looked like I had a lazy eye.
Yeah, or you're cockeyed or something. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And how long was that for?
Um, so I had all of that. So I was like a special needs girl for about a month. But I walked with two canes for probably 2 months, had double vision for probably 3 months.
Wow. And how old were you at the time?
21.
No way.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Okay, how did you manage this? Obviously, you must have had a good support network around you, your family, your doctors, your nurses, your siblings, if you got any.
Yeah. So my mom and dad had me move home so that they could watch me and take care of me. They had to help me shower. Um,
Okay.
and basically I spent most of my time sitting around. So I gained a lot of weight actually and felt pretty lousy.
But then how else are you meant to feel? Ain't you? It's not like you can be jumping around or really happy or ecstatic or anything like that.
Right.
Okay, if there's one thing you can change, sorry, no, I'm moving forward. Okay, so how is MS now? Now that you're fully diagnosed and you're kind of like, do they call it a relapse when you're better from it, but then it's relapse, isn't it? And how has it changed your day to day life?
Okay. So I've I've had just a few relapses in the 10 years
Hmm.
since I was diagnosed. One of them was when I had my first baby. And then the next one was right after I had my first baby. So I had two really quick ones right then. But I have more fatigue. My anxiety and depression is worse. If I get too warm, then my body gets numb and tingly again, and it is hard to move my leg, my left leg.
Well, even now.
Yeah, if I get warm or if I stay up too late. Like
So
if
do you
I'm
know
tired.
do you know it's going to happen to you? Or do you know like the symptoms?
Yeah, so I expect it at this point. If I'm pushing myself too hard, I expect some symptoms to show up. And they're just temporary and then they go away once I'm feeling better. And the same thing, like when I get an infection or have a cold, then symptoms will come up. And then when I recover, they'll eventually go away.
So you kind of like know it's going to happen, don't
Yeah.
you? It's like I got a friend that gets no when he was younger, he used to get nosebleeds. So he
Mm.
used to come and stay at my house, and when he used to get nosebleeds, he used to go, Biggie, I got nosebleed coming on. I'm like, how do you know? And he goes, just shut up and give me a towel. Then just cover his nose and everything.
Oh,
So he like kind of like just knew something is going to
man.
happen.
Uh-huh.
He had like a pre-sense or something would trigger it.
Yeah. Which is helpful because you can be a
Yeah.
little more prepared.
Okay, how did you, obviously you've had children and everything, how did your life change? Your vision of your life? So obviously before you had it, you had this vision, everything's gonna be rosy in the garden, everything's gonna
Mhm.
be beautiful. How did that all change?
So let's go back to when I was really, really sick, um, at the worst, that first year. I had to drop out of school. Um, it was basically like my life was ended.
And
And then I
yeah.
was starting a new life after. So I got put on the right medication and a lot of people prayed for me. And those things put together, I started to get better. And it took some
Fantastic.
time. Sorry, should I keep going?
No, sorry, carry on going, go on. So it took some time.
Okay. It took some time for me to recover or at least to feel semi-normal again. Um, but when I did, I still wasn't happy because physically I was still walking with two canes, but mentally I was present again.
So do you still walk with the canes?
No, not most of the
Or
time.
only like when you need that support or you're in pain or something?
Yeah, when I need the support, like right before I get my infusion, I'm a little wobblier,
Yeah.
or if I'm going to be walking really far, sometimes I need that extra support. So I'll use canes or a walker sometimes. Or like if I go to a museum with my
Hmm.
family, they push me in a wheelchair.
Okay, fair enough. And what's been the hardest part of living with this disease?
Mm, I think the hardest part is that it's invisible to
Yeah,
everyone.
that's true.
Like I experience so much and people don't see that and don't know what I'm going through. And so I think there's a lot of judgment. Like when I use my handicap parking pass, I look
People are
completely
looking at
normal.
you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely the hardest part is just people not really understanding that it's a disability, even if I don't have any visual
Visual, yeah.
symptoms currently.
And do you reckon that's like lack of awareness about it?
Yeah, I think that, but also I think that nowadays people are looking for reasons to be offended for some
Mm-hmm.
reason.
Yeah. It's true. Society, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and anything good come out of it? Most probably not, but
Um, honestly, I think I take better care of my health now than I did before.
hmm.
And I'm also more appreciative of the little things in life. Like I'm so much more grateful that I can move my body. And I exercise because I love it, but also because I can, you know?
But you know, like now, you know, like when you're walking without the cane, do you have a limp?
Um, not most of the time. I walk different than I used to, but I don't have a limp most of the time.
See, when I walk, also I've got a limp. To me, mentally, I know that I'm doing it. Well, I think I'm walking normal, but then in my head, I know that obviously there's a slight limp. And then just the other day, I was with somebody and they said, "Are you alright?" And I goes, "Yeah, why?" They goes, "You limping?" I goes, "Geez, I limp all the time." I goes, "You just noticed now?" He goes, "It must have got
Yeah.
worse. It must have got worse then." I goes, "I don't know." But some people notice it, some people don't.
Huh.
So,
That I'm
but
gonna
in my
ask
head, I
my
know that
family.
I'm doing it. So it's just like it just plays in my head sometimes.
I'm gonna ask my family if I limp because now I'm curious if I just don't realize that I do it.
Then what it is, I remember when I a few years ago, I told my kids, I goes, make a video of me walking. So I went outside the house and I went up like I walked for about 2 minutes and I goes on the way back, I goes film me. And then I go, but film me from the side so because I can notice it. Then yeah, then I can see the limp. So I just try to read the things that people say, "You're so strong." Mindful, obviously.
Oh.
Lovely supportive words there. Mindful of a sleep is going to come on Biggie Let's Talk soon anyway.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
welcome to her. Okay, sorry, I lost track of my questions because I keep dilly-dallying with the screen.
You're fine.
And how's your family's reaction now? Are
Um,
they still as supportive?
they're still super supportive. I think they probably have some residual PTSD from it too, because I think they baby me a little bit.
Hmm. So you know this condition, is it just individually or is it like from a family? Is it hereditary?
So there's an aspect of it that's hereditary. Like you get certain genes, and then something from the environment turns the gene on, and they still
Really?
don't understand it and know why.
So they don't know why these myelons are getting attacked and broken up, do they?
No, but they're getting closer. They think it has to do with this virus called Epstein-Barr,
Hmm.
which is the virus that causes mono.
Okay.
So they think it has something to do with that, but I really don't know, and they don't really know
Has it restricted
why.
you from like doing every day-to-day activities? Say, just say if you're like go for a walk or something, or go and play somewhere. Sorry, how old your child?
So I have a 4-year-old and a 3-month-old.
Okay, so if the 4-year-old wants to go to the park and want you to run around it, you can't do that, can you?
I
Or
can.
can you?
I can, but it's harder for me than it is for the average person.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and it wears me out faster. So when she wants to go to the park, I'll take her sometimes, but I often try to get my husband to take her.
Hmm. And how's your husband been about all this?
He's been great. So we met a couple of years after I was diagnosed. So
Or
he
after?
knew. Hmm. So he knew about it before he married me. And so,
Oh, brilliant.
and that was something I was worried about when I was really sick. I thought that I
Yeah.
would never be able to get married or have like a committed relationship at all. And here I am with a husband who loves me and
Two
is
lovely children.
committed, even though I
That's
have
amazing.
this disease.
Okay, and moving forward now to okay. So what medication are you on, or were you on?
So I'm on a medication called Tysabri. So it's
Mhm.
an infusion that I get every 36 days.
Still,
Yeah.
wow.
And I tried when I was pregnant, the first time I went off of the medication for 6 months and I had a severe relapse. So they put me back on it and I have stayed on it
Okay, when
since.
you get a relapse, does your like body swell up or anything, or is it just painful?
No, it's different symptoms every time. Um, but I get this heavy feeling in my left leg and it's hard to lift. I get numbness and tingling. Sorry.
Bless you.
Woo! Thank you. Woo!
You okay?
Yeah, just sneezing. Um, but I also get really bad fatigue when I'm having a relapse.
You're just
So
completely
that's
tired.
one of my warning signs in my mind is when I have severe fatigue. So it's like imagine that you are walking through mud
Mm-hmm.
and you also have a heavy backpack on your back
Yeah.
and
You're
you're
dragging
also
your foot. You're dragging your feet.
it's hard to lift them. It's like your arms and legs are all in heavy armor. It's hard
Yeah.
to lift your arm. Like that's the kind of fatigue I'm talking about. So it's not just like, oh, I need to go take a nap. It's
Yeah. Power nap or sit down for 5 minutes.
yeah, it's like I have to fight to move pretty much.
Wow. And are you still you're still taking this medication, ain't you?
Yeah.
And are they what? Are they like steroids?
So it's different from steroids. Steroids calm down your immune system, but what this does is it modifies my immune system so that my immune the antibodies or whatever can't go into my brain and spinal cord.
This is when you said that you is overactive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, oh, someone asked, it's called multiple sclerosis.
MS.
Yeah, MS, multiple sclerosis. So, yeah, so I I am because I'm on this medication, there is a risk of this other deadly brain disease. Since my immune system can't go into like through the blood-brain barrier,
Mm-hmm.
it's I'm at risk for this other disease. So they have to monitor me frequently to make sure I don't get that other disease.
Okay. What's the support system like for MS? Like,
It's
obviously, there's all these groups on social media, but do you have like meeting groups around your area?
I don't. I'm in a group online and then I have a special place that I have to go to get my infusions.
Yeah.
And so I meet people there as well.
Now they're quite supportive,
Yeah, everybody supports each other.
and obviously everyone's different, so not everybody will be have the same symptoms as you.
Right.
Have you seen worse symptoms?
Um, yes, to me, any kind of chronic pain is a worse symptom. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've been very blessed to have very little pain. And there are some people that have pain all the time or ringing in their ears all the time or, or like they can't walk. So,
Okay. I'm just going to read out a few comments here. So we got
all right.
Mr. Banso that said, "Very hard life with this. Keep going strong, darling. Never give up hope." Okay. Have you tried EBO treatment? What's EBO treatment? I don't know what that is. EBOH.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Dimitri, what is
And
that?
sorry, what?
Okay. So I'm just asking you what it is.
Oh,
And what is the living rate with people with MS? Just
so
some.
it's pretty good. So it's usually not a deadly disease. In general, people with MS live about 5 years less than the average individual.
Okay.
So it's really not bad. And it depends on how well you're taking care of yourself still. It's just like if you make unhealthy choices, it affects you more intensely than it does an average individual. And so if you take better care of yourself, then you're more likely to live longer, just like any other person who doesn't have the
Mm.
disease.
It's crazy though, isn't it? Like when that doctor said to me in front of my family, you're not going to live up to 40. In a way, I wanted to beat the doctor up, right? But then I was like, no, I'm going to prove the doctor wrong.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't live in that area now, so I don't go see that doctor anymore. So I remember that, and then I remember My mum was there, and I said to my mum, I goes, Mom, don't worry about it. Nothing's gonna happen. It's gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a big celebration the year you turned 41?
Nah, I just thought no celebration. I just thought just blessed to wake up in the
Yeah.
morning. And then Evo cleans your blood and helps take away autoimmune autoimmune
Huh.
diseases. Have you had that?
I haven't heard of it, so I'll have to look it up and see what I think. There are a lot of treatments and things that people suggest that work for some people and don't work for
Yeah,
others.
okay, now let's go on to your. Was it half a marathon you done?
Yes.
How did that come around?
So I have always been a runner. In high school, I ran track and cross country, and even through university, I actually signed up for multiple marathons, and I was not able to run them because I got different injuries.
Mhm.
So I signed up for this half marathon because I thought it would help motivate me, and I've always wanted to do it. And so I wanted to prove to myself that I didn't have to be limited by this disease.
Okay. See, when you run, do you run normally, or do you ever like trip over your foot or anything like that? Do you have to be
Yes, I
careful of
do.
that?
I trip a
Yeah,
lot.
see, I have to be careful. I have to watch out for that as well, because sometimes I might buckle onto my other foot or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah, when my body warms up, I get foot drop.
Foot drop. That's what I've got as well.
Yeah. So basically your toe doesn't lift up as much as you need
Hmm.
it to. So I do have to be very careful when I run.
Okay, so you motivated yourself to sign up for this marathon. How far was it? 20 miles, 26,
So it was a half marathon, so it was 13
13.
miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then did anybody do it with you? Was there other people that have MS that done it with you? That
My dad ran it with me.
wow, brilliant.
Yeah, my dad is a runner as well. And so it was really nice because I was living at home for most of the training time and we could train together.
Okay. And who got the better time, you or your dad?
My dad stayed with me the whole time.
So you both crossed the line at the same time.
Yeah, he would have beat me though.
Brilliant. And then what was that? Did you do it for charity, or did you do it for any charity, or did you just do it for yourself?
Just for myself.
And what was people's reaction to it?
You know, nobody, I don't think anybody realized that it was a big deal. I don't think I even realized what a cool thing that it is that I ran that.
Really?
It took time, and now I can look back and I think, holy cow, I did that so soon after I was that sick.
And how much preparation did you put in?
A lot. A lot of training runs. Yeah, I had to run multiple times a week.
Yeah, but you said you used to do a lot of track and field when you were
Uh-huh.
younger. So obviously there's a lot of muscle memory there. So
Yeah.
you must have been still been pretty decent at it.
Yeah, so the thing with running is if you're not doing it, it's torture.
Yeah,
And once you start, it's not comfortable. And it can always be uncomfortable if you push yourself. And that's one of the things I love about running is that it will always be a challenge that I can try to overcome.
definitely. And then where are you going to go from here? From now? Do you speak on a lot of podcasts? Do you speak in a lot of motivation groups for MS?
So I've never done a motivational talk before. I've done a few podcasts. I'm just getting into the world of speaking, and I actually started a business.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so it's for busy moms. So it's not specific to the MS, but it's to help busy moms to simplify their lives, to be more organized with their time so that they can have good relationships with their family and still achieve their goals.
That's what your Instagram page is, isn't it? It's Mo Mother or something, is it? What's your Instagram page called?
It's Mo Christensen.
Oh, Family Flow Strategies.
Yeah.
So what do you do for that?
So I help different moms to change their mindset and establish systems in their life
Hmm.
and make the most of the tiny moments.
So like they've got routine. So they've got a routine in their life,
Mm.
and then obviously if they've got 5 minutes for how they can spend it with the child.
Yeah, so it can be spending it with your child. It just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Um, Something that I'm a big proponent of is using small moments like going from the grocery store to your car and using that moment as a moment of self-care by breathing deeply or thinking of something you're grateful for
So
rather than,
it doesn't have to be time with your child. It could be time for yourself as well.
yeah.
Okay, I'll get you now. Okay, and then how long has this been? How long have you had this set up?
So I only got my LLC like last week, but I've been working on it since January.
Fantastic. So do you start to see a lot of different kids around as well? So like when you go to a client's house, do you see a lot of naughty kids?
So I work via the internet. So I have,
Oh, it's all
yeah,
online
I
on Zoom and
have
everything.
calls with people. And it's it's more about the moms and helping them cope with
Hmm.
different things rather than the kids. But they do notice the kids' behavior change. I had one mom tell me that she tried one thing that I told her and her kids' behavior changed dramatically.
Really,
Yeah,
brilliant.
which is very rewarding.
Was that some kind of secret tip of yours?
No, so basically it was just when you get stressed, take a moment to breathe.
Oh,
And
so like
so
count to 10.
kind of just like take a couple deep breaths so that
Yeah.
you get oxygen to your brain so you can think clearly again and you're not just being ruled by your emotion.
So something as simple as that made a complete change to her family.
Yeah. And
That's brilliant.
because her son also does the breathing with her now. He's 3 and he has a mental disability. And so she said his
Excellent.
behavior has improved a lot.
Okay, so how would you now? Well, obviously, you said you want people to be more aware of MS.
Yeah.
So, what message you put out there to people about MS?
Um, that MS, first of all, it's different for everyone, but it's not a death sentence. It's an opportunity.
Mm,
And that's how I've come to see it for me, is it's not the thing that's ended my life. It's just created a new life for me.
fair enough. Fantastic, Mo. You're a superstar for it. So, I salute you. Did you think of a nomination? Did you get hold of anybody?
Um, she's thinking about it if she wants to
Okay, fair enough. Let's give her a
be
bit of
there.
time. But I just want to say thank you. Feel free to drop by anytime you want. Feel free to tag me into anything and I'll share it for you. But you really are an MS warrior. But thank you very much, Mo. All the best and
Thank
stay
you.
blessed. Take care. Bye.
Bye.